Thank you so much for joining us on the program, Delon. Really appreciate your time. So polls are suggesting that Aruna Disana Yanke from the JVP party could be the frontrunner. Tell us who you think has the best chance of securing a presidency here.
It's difficult to answer. According polling, that's true. Dissanayake seems to have a lead, but we don't know if the minority will support him, especially the Tamil minority, because during the campaign he reaffirmed that he doesn't regret to have support Rajapaksa war against the former separatist movement of liberation tigers of Tamil. So that can annihilate him the vote of the Tamil minorities. And the thing is, we're not sure about what economical policy will follow. Will he said he will renegotiate the agreement concluded with IFM, whereas Sajid Premadasa and Vikramasinghe both want to follow it, with just a slight difference with Premadasa, who want to negotiate negotiate the tax hikes and also the privatization of national firms. So Dissanayake, according to the polls, he seems to have more chance to be elected, but I think you have the possibility that people will maybe be afraid that if he is elected, maybe he will not be able to help to resolve the economical problem and financial problem the island is facing.
Well, Delon, you just set out for us a little bit there why the economy is such a top priority for voters in these elections. Tell us more about how big of a role the economy is set to play.
Sorry?
Tell us more about how big of a role the economy will play in these elections.
It's a main role because the people are struggling a lot because Vikramasinghe managed to get a bailout agreement with International Monetary Fund, but in exchange he has to adopt drastic measures and reforms like tax hikes, cut on different social subventions allowed by the state, for example, for electricity, for some food supply. So that's a real issue for most of the Sri Lankans, and that's why, contrary to former president election, where the main important thing was the question of security or identity integration. This one is really focused on economy and finance.
And tell us what other concerns are on the top of voters' minds as they cast their ballots today.
As I said, maybe for the minorities, what about their situation? Some are afraid also because Dissanayake is from the GVP party, which is a Marxist but also a Sinhalese nationalist party, actually, who was against actually the Tamil separatist movement because they were against the division of the country. So in that sense, you can have division among Sri Lankans maybe if he's elected, and he will maybe not have the support of the Tamils.
And also, let's talk a little bit about the protests that happened in the wake of that economic collapse, or in the lead up to the economic collapse in 2022. What's the legacy of those protests and how will they maybe impact this vote?
I would say Dissanayake, actually, his movement was actually, the GVP has only 4 seats in the parliament, but the GP was very active and Dissanayake was very implicated in the Aragalaya protest movement. That's why he get a lot of support from the population, especially among youngsters and some of the leaders of Aragalaya. And that's why no is in a position, because traditionally Sri Lanka is a bi-party political system. You had the United National Party and the Sri Lankan Freedom Party, who used to compete to gain power. This time you have a third main, that's Dissanayake, and it's due to this Aragaya movement, and people may support Dissanayake, especially because he's the one also who was against this bailout agreement concluded by Vikramasinghe with International Monetary Fund.
Dr. Delon Madavan, Research Associate at the Center for Studies and Research on India, South Asia, and the Diaspora at the University of Quebec in Montreal. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. We really appreciate your thoughts there on the elections in Sri Lanka.
Thank you for your invitation.